Hey everybody, Justin here with Strange Glow Video, going live tonight to celebrate Ghostbusters Day. I know it's pretty late, I know the weekend's almost over, but we're going to talk about some of the excellent things going on. So, as you can see in front of me, I've got a dual display setup going on here. What I did was I took the Matty Collector containment unit and I made a diorama around it. I've been working on this for a few months, haven't touched it in a minute because it's pretty much done. Fits in my display case. So if you can kind of see here, I made the stand on the wall here. So that's kind of what you see in the original Ghostbusters and in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. There are a few differences with the basement reconstruct that they did. So particularly this red door in the background is a different size in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. It's actually shorter than what it is in the original Ghostbusters. So I went with the Ghostbusters 1 style on this build. Just kind of used some found parts. Basically what I did was I took a foam sheet and basically I measured out the brick status, the brick size on the Matty Collector containment unit. Measured that out and then just used a foam or just a little tool, kind of like an X-Acto knife. You can change the tips in there. And just use this tool to put these pieces in there and collect them that way. And not even collect them, I guess I should say. Form them that way so they permanently scarred or marked into the foam. And then it created the illusion of bricks and it's textured and so you could paint it and everything else. And then basically kind of recreated the signs around the firehouse basement here. So fun fact, so the Square D brand, they actually make the alarm button that is on Janine's desk. They actually made one of the electrical panels that's down in the basement in the movie here, and I found that out. That's that smaller dark gray box. Found that out just zooming in and doing research on the containment unit build. So, pretty happy with how this display's turned out right now, and this thing is pretty awesome. You know, the Matty Collector containment unit was never perfect on its own. Let's see if we can get that to change the zoom or the focus here. Let's try that. There we go. Yeah, so this is the ghost trap that came with the Matty Collector PKE, and this containment unit anyway came with Walter Peck. So the cool thing about that is that fits right in there, so you can do the whole light is green, trap is clean thing. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have lights for the system. Now I did see somebody take theirs and add some LED lights. I haven't decided if I'll get brave enough and go that route or not, but as of right now, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. If you're trying to build something like this, it's pretty straightforward. For the electrical meters, I just kind of guessed on meters types and stuff like that as far as the images inside, and I'll try to see if you can see inside of this here a little bit better. Let me just unlock this. Yeah, so you can kind of see that. So those are actually chapstick lids. So those fit the perfect size in there. Basically, I mounted a piece of foam in the back, measure that to the lid of the chapstick, and then I glued over the electrical meter piece there so you can kind of see that. Modeled all the electrical tubing and piping based on everything you see in the movies. Like I said, I did a combination of Frozen Empire and Ghostbusters 1 where you see the containment unit in the basement. Obviously, this is only this one section, so you don't really see everything else, but I also did this concrete floor in here, which I made looked very aged and dirty, just like, you know, they never cleaned the containment unit. So I do love some of those details and how nitty and gritty and gross this thing looks, because that really just makes it feel authentic and real. But if you're going to have a display like this, custom display, I actually went ahead and did some custom figures too. And a couple of the figures that I've done, which I think this one's an easy one to do. It's Paul Rudd, right? Put him back here in the light. Get a better look at him there. But I did the Gruberson name patch on him. And basically what I did was Printed that out onto a sheet of paper with a laser printer, and then I used some Hodge Podge to give it that kind of glossy look to match the rest of the figure. The body is one of the glow-in-the-dark Ray Stantz figures from the Plasma series. Since those were easy to come by, I just got one of those really cheap for like $10, I think, on Amazon at the time, and used the body there, and then made the custom name tag, and then repainted a few things on the belt, the elbow pads. I think I redid to be a more accurate gray color to what we see, and then one of the other things here is the Paul Rudd head. Now this is the Paul Rudd head from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Paul also had the figure that came out for the first Ant-Man, I want to say, and he has that goofy smirk on there, and that smirk is just not work for this figure. So I'm glad the Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania version came out and looked better. So yeah, that's custom Gruberson figure, since I don't think we're going to see an official one anytime soon. The next one up is Nadim, the Fire Master. So the Fire Master here, and let me see if I can get a little more light on this. Yeah, so you see him. I did a custom Fire Master, and now this is several figures that I put together. So the body is the Peter Parker and Ned 2-pack body. I did that, and then obviously Nadim, our buddy Kumail Nanjiani, was in the Eternals, and we all know that those Eternals Marvel Legend figures were peg warmers, and so I was able to get one of those for $6 or $7, I think, at Ollie's discount store. And then I took the hoodie, since he's wearing a hoodie, you know, he's wearing shorts and flip-flops throughout the whole movie, so I kind of had to improvise. But I kind of made him this guy that would wear like matching sneakers to his hoodie, so I painted the sneakers the same color as that. The hoodie is just loosely inspired by the color and logo design on there. I didn't go super crazy with the logo design, but there's this kind of like dirty looking, almost acid washed or gray print on there with that, so you can kind of see those dots speckled in throughout. And then just used a couple of pieces of wire with the sheets on it still, the outside, for the drawstrings. And the hood on the hoodie is from a Spider-Gwen, and since she had a removable hood that you could swap out, I just threw that on there for this character. And then as the Fire Master, this figure is perfect because it already comes with like fire accessories and fire controls, so to me that's a pretty fun aspect here. So turned out pretty nice. Once you let the paint dry and seal, they're pretty cool. So had to get a few of my favorite figures though, so that's not the only custom. I actually just finished another one tonight. It's not perfect, but I love the hive mind creativity behind the internet. And one of the hive mind people that I was showing to, I showed off some of these other figures on the Ghostbusters Facebook pages a couple months ago. And someone said, you know, the Brie Larson figure has a couple of different versions released that could work for Carrie Coon's head, because obviously we all know Carrie Coon was in the Marvel Legends line as well as Proxima Midnight, but I believe she just did mocap. Well, I'm not even sure if she did mocapture for that. I know she did the voiceover work for Proxima Midnight, but I think she did at least some of the mocap. At least in Infinity War, did not come back for Endgame due to contract dispute. You know, you got a movie that made a ton of money and they didn't want to pay somebody for a performance, and so typical Hollywood nonsense if you're aware of it. So I took a Lucky body. I got another Lucky on there, and then I got this bomber jacket version of the Captain Marvel figure, where she has this kind of shorter haircut that looks a lot closer to what you would see on Carrie Coon's character in the movie. And so that turned out pretty nice. Got another light here I'm going to turn on just so we can see some of those features a little bit better there. Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of tell that there. Like, that figure looks pretty good. Did the same thing there. I made the Spangler name tape for her uniform, and there was no outline for it, but did the same concept. I painted or I clear coated it with Hodgepodge, and I believe this is a satin coat that I had on there because I've got the flat, the satin, and the semi-gloss or gloss. So, but I like the satin look on there. But yeah, so I've got some Frozen Empire characters that have never been officially released. So, and anyone that does action figures knows how difficult this can be to get these guys to stand up. I also have a soft top ground here, so yeah, so a set of custom Ghostbusters Frozen Empire figures, including the Fire Master, Callie Spangler, and Gary Gruberson. Yeah, so that's a nice set of figures. Really happy that I've got these ones now. Change the exposure here a little bit. Yeah, so you can see those figures. I like those quite a bit. A fun other thing I did this weekend was I saw Bill Murray in concert. Bill Murray and his Blood Brothers came through and played in Kansas City on Friday night. So while many of you were out at the Yes Have Some pre-Ghostbusters Day party, I was seeing Bill Murray play in Kansas City, and he did an awesome job. Played a lot of the bongo drums, sang lead on, I think, 5 or 6 songs, maybe somewhere around there. Just had an all-around good time. It was a good show. I did not get the meet and greet passes. Those sold out immediately, and I could never find them when they even went on sale. Like, the venue didn't say when they're going to be on sale, and I think, judging by the number of photos that I saw the venue post, I think they only did maybe 20 people for the meet and greet there. It was a very, very limited number of people. So, not all completely bummed out by that, but it would have been cool to meet Bill in person and have that meet and greet, but at the same time, I was happy to be there for the show. I did pick up this vintage style golfer hat while I was there, though. And yeah, I picked this up from the merch table. And I think that's a pretty sharp looking hat. Probably won't be an everyday wear for me, but one I'll throw on every now and again. And it was a good show. And Ghostbusters Day wouldn't be Ghostbusters Day if you weren't always just out there celebrating and having fun with it. And Dan Harshman posted on his Harshman Hobbies page earlier, like, you know, I've got a number of Alice frames, and you can still find them really cheap on Facebook Marketplace. And that's one place I never actually looked at those at. I never looked for them there for the price. I looked today. I saw an LC frame with straps and kidney pad and backpack version on there. Now the stripes or the straps were camoed, but the kidney waist was the size of an LC2, so I got an LC2 for $25, which, man, that's a good deal. Does need to be cleaned up, but an LC2 frame, and I'll go through right now. Like, I haven't been crazy with all my packs to see what's what, so I know on my Anovos shell pack, I have the reproduction LC frame from GB Fans that I got, and I like that frame. It's a nice frame. But the other ones I've got are vintage or used from like military surplus stores around town. So the LC2, if you're not sure, has the bracket that is raised as it goes across the back, as opposed to the LC1 where it's basically flat across the back. So, and then if any of you were curious, GB Fans did post the other day about the Treewell watches being on sale for 50% off, and decided I would snag one. So here's how the box came. I was surprised I didn't have any custom packaging for this. Yeah, but here's this Ghostbusters watch. Stand this up right here for you so you can kind of see it better. We'll go ahead and zoom in a little more. But yeah, it's a pretty sharp looking watch. I went with the black. Now, if you were going to wear this with your uniform all the time, the dark or the military green or olive green, olive drab green, whatever color you want to call that, would really look clean on this. It would be a nice way to do it. But I went with this basic model. Now, this is a waterproof watch. I think it says up to about 100 meters. So it's pretty cool. I haven't tried it on yet, but I intend to. And this is just a nice watch to throw in the collection to have just for giggles. And I believe there's some glow-in-the-dark elements on there, at least on the minute, hour, and seconds hands. So yeah, that's the Treewell Ghostbusters watch, and this is the sub model of the watch there. So. I don't know if you can see all that. It says I ain't afraid no ghost on there. So that is a pretty nice looking watch overall. Pretty pleased with that one. And then the last bit of news that's exciting for the show really is not even necessarily Ghostbusters related, but you might notice that I was able to snag a Switch 2. My oldest son's birthday was recently here, and he wanted the Switch 2, and everyone was able to pool in and get him enough money to get the Switch 2. So yeah, we ordered that one from Costco, of all places, actually, and got it next day delivered. So Switch came out on Thursday. We had it by Friday afternoon. I haven't opened it up yet since it's his, but I threw some in on that too. So it's going to be neat to see how the next gen of Nintendo handles this, and we'll see if they do any upgrades for Spirits Unleashed or if they have any other things in the future for Ghostbusters to play on there, but excited to have that in the collection too. And I guess the last bit of news for everyone to know is that Alec and myself have started doing all of our regular podcast live streams on his YouTube channel. And the main particular reason there is that he's subscribed here. He's at over 4,000 subscribers now, so he's got basically double the Strange Glow video subscriber count. And that's just going to allow us to have a bigger audience for now. I'll still be doing stuff over on this channel, and the show name hasn't changed. It's just Strange Glow Video on the Ectoviolence channel is kind of how we're doing that. So we've got tons of new movies and things like that we're going to be talking about this summer, and we're excited to get out there and do those. And there's some local stuff here that we're pretty stoked on. I think the biggest one here is that Child's Play 3 was filmed about an hour and a half from here at a military school in Missouri. And they're going to do an anniversary screening of that this summer where they're going to shoot it on location. So we're going to go out there for that and take a look at it and try to see all the cast and crew that's out there for that event. But, here's a pretty quick view of our custom Ghostbusters Frozen Empire figures. And that's it. That's Ghostbusters Day. Lots of fun, exciting news out there. I'm sure you guys have already heard it all. Alec and I will talk a little bit more about that tomorrow on our live show. I mean, my biggest thing was that new 84 pack looks legit. Don't know that I'm in the market for another 84 pack myself, because that's what my main pack, my hero pack, is an 84. And I've got a spirit pack that's modded that I've got set up as an Ghostbusters 2 style. I'm in the process of reconverting from Frozen Empire to, or not Frozen Empire, but Afterlife. And then I've obviously got the HasLab Afterlife Proton pack. And I'm starting to work on a lightweight foam build pack for Frozen Empire. Already got the wand most of the way through, but yeah. Hope you're enjoying everything. Thanks for tuning in if you did. Hopefully you'll come back and check this all out. But yeah, look for us tomorrow night live on the Strange Glow video presented by or on the Ectoviolence channel. If you're not subscribed to Alec over there, go check out Ectoviolence. subscribe there. I've got my personal channel. It's Mr. West Studios too. I'm not really posting much stuff on there. I was kind of toying with that, and then now that we're doing our live show over on Alex's channel, I'm going to start doing stuff that I would normally have done on my channel over here, just so it's easier to find, because YouTube algorithms, man, like we did some toy videos and reviews early on that really got us stuck with just toy reviews. So like our biggest views are some Ecto-1 collections and things like that. So once you're stuck in a YouTube algorithm, it's very difficult to change that. So, we're going to roll with the punches and see what comes up with everything. But anyway, make sure you subscribe and like if you haven't already.